I actually like the soundtrack Platoon. It's very weird. But if you're talking 80s, I was blown away at Adagio for Strings. It was the most, that movie blew my mind. I didn't understand that young kids had to go to the horrors of war. And it was the heaviest movie to me. It made me go, what am I doing with my life? Because this is gnarly and these kids had to do this crazy thing. So what am I doing? And that song was just mind blowing to me. It was one of the most beautiful pieces of orchestration ever written, Adagio for Strings. And then it had some great stuff on it, like, Smokey Robinson.
That made a perfect trailer with Tracks of My Tears on there.
Exactly. So Platoon is one. It's a little weird. It's not, I don't know if it's hip, but Platoon was a soundtrack that blew my mind. The next soundtrack that blew my mind, probably 92. Now I'll move into the 90s. This is it's a dark movie too. Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. Angelo Badalamenti, man, dude. That was my introduction to him. And I am just like, what is this music? It is reverberating in my soul, and I need to figure out who this human is. Angelo Badalamenti is a genius and amazing. And The Pink Room was a song that totally blew me away. This weird, like, go listen to The Pink Room. It had a bass, and he was playing a bow with it, I think. And this heavy reverb on the drums, just the weirdest music I'd ever heard in my life. I'll throw one more soundtrack in there, The Crow. Love The Crow soundtrack.
30 years old this year. Wow.
How old?
30 years old. 1994.
That soundtrack was killer, man. It had like Rage Against the Machine, Nine Inch Nails. It had some great stuff on it. So I would go Platoon, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, and The Crow. Kind of dark, weird like soundtracks, but there was beauty in some of those moments too. And then movies. I'm taking movies home too.
Yeah. You rented. Yeah, you got the soundtracks on the Walkman going to the store.
I got to take Breakfast Club because I got to get into the light, fun pop of the 80s. I got to go Breakfast Club. I'm probably going to do Back to the Future.
Great Scott.
And one more movie, huh?
What movie have you introduced to your boys over the years? Like, you got to watch this.
Well, this isn't 80s, but man, they know I'm a Grease fanatic. I love the movie Grease, man. And I crushed them with Grease and with this movie. Just because of Danny's walk and his leather. Dude, he's the coolest looking dude in that. If you think about it, killer pompadour black hair, leather jacket, flames. That's the rival, but like flames coming out of cars, racing. I'm like, in my book, one of my favorite bass players, I talk about influences. I'll tell you, one of them was Pete Farndon from the Pretenders. Huge Pretenders fan. I think that he doesn't get spoken of enough. I have Paul Jones in there, Sir Paul McCartney. I have my legends, but Pete Farndon doesn't get spoken about enough. His lines were so killer. He was one of the first bass players that I ever saw that I'm like, that's the coolest dude I've ever seen in my life. Triumph, leather jacket, big pompadour black hair, white. He usually had a white Fender P bass, which was odd. You didn't see what you saw, the sunburst a lot or the orange. He would play the white bass. Like, that's the cool. And Danny from Grease reminds me of Pete Farndon from the Pretenders. So I got to go Grease. I got to go Back to the Future. I got to go Breakfast Club, Platoon, Twin Peaks, The Crow.
Man, that's a night right there. That's a weekend. I love it.
You got laughter. Then you get some heavy, weird music. And you go to some laughter again. Yeah.